Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we add all the updates and news, be the first one getting all the insight. Now earlier this week we did face some bad news, but today I'm bringing you some good news. One good news, which is that everybody has been worried about that the Australian study requirement after the cessation, by means the end of the COVID pandemic concession period, would your previous online study be affected whilst you are applying for 485 visa or perhaps skill migration? Now, earlier this week, we have received the information, the message that delivered from the department. If you have checked that video out, and there's a lot of rumors has been going around that the departmental officer had advised that the previous online study whilst you're offshore would not be counted towards your Australian study requirement, which is the key and mandatory requirement for the post-study graduate work visa subclass 485, and also mandatory for all international graduates who wanted to claim that additional 5 points whilst they have complete 2 years of study in Australia, which is counting towards 491 visa, 190 visa, and also 189 visa, despite there has been no invitation round yet. But it's very important. I mean, less than that 5 points, a lot of people might as well not even meeting the requirement. So over a week of perhaps complaining, yelling, whatever is going to be done, let's have a look. Today there has been a new policies changes, and I'm going to bring you to that policies there, and also bring you to the actual 485 visa web page that the immigration has just updated today. Okay, so now first of all, let's confirm that from the legal point of view, because the law is ultimately where it stands. Okay, rumors, no way, it doesn't work, or whoever case officer said something or email something, that won't count as well. Ultimately, we still need to go back to the actual law, because that's actually where it says. And now we're digging into the actual policy itself. So we are looking at, I know it's tiny, but it's Legend.com. It's the database, library database created by the government. There's a lot of words and they're very tiny, but I want you to pay attention to the top left. What does it say on the top left? It says the 8th December 2023. You can see that there. Okay, now that means today. It's the most updated version, and what I'm checking out is the regulation 1.15F, and it's the title as it reads. It's the thing that worries us, and it's the thing that concerns us, and it's the thing that we wanted to confirm today in this video. So it's the Australian study requirement. Now obviously this is a very bulky policy explaining and guideline for the case officer to assess against the applicant's Australian study requirement. There's a lot, but I want you to pay attention to particularly to the COVID concession period. Now just quickly jump to 3.13, where it says a study must have been lawfully undertaken in Australia. Now, obviously, during the pandemic era, there was a travel restriction all around the world. It will be impossible to actually lawfully take a course in Australia because you can't even travel into Australia, right? So this is talking about the paragraph 1.15F, subparagraph 1E. Okay, so what does it say? It says with the exception of recognized prior learning, which doesn't concern us, but I wanted to draw your attention to this part here. It says C 3.13.3 notes regards to COVID-19 impact subclass 485 visa applicant. Now Who are these people? That's exactly you. That's exactly what we are talking about now. So if we click on 3.13.3, which is really just down there, as you can see right there, okay, 3.13.3 right there. Okay, now I am gonna skip the first 3 paragraphs because it's specifically discussing about RPL, which doesn't concern us. But let's jump into the 4th paragraph and let me read them out. It's right up there. It's very tiny. I'll read them out so you can listen to it. It says subclass 485 visa applicant who were studying offshore on an Australian visa. So if you just study offshore online with no Australian visa, this won't count. You need to have an Australian visa, okay? Now, usually what sort of visa you hold? You hold a student visa. Obviously, you cannot travel into Australia, but you still hold an Australian visa while study online offshore, okay? So 485 visa applicant who was studying offshore on an Australian visa authorizing applicant to study and not permitted to travel to Australia during COVID-19 pandemic will be allowed, okay, an unlimited amount of offshore online study to count towards the Australian study requirement. Here we go. That is the answer exactly. Now, this has been a major revert from the policy makers. But look, a lot of people will say, well, why would immigration officers said the wrong thing at the beginning? I mean, it's a very complex area of law. Now, whoever that officer is, maybe a newbie, he may be a new guy or new lady. Now, he or she doesn't even know what Australian study requirement actually affects for the skilled migrants. So he or she might just respond towards, now obviously the intention on the end of the COVID-19 pandemic concession is to say that no more offshore application commencing from 25th of November, which everybody agree, and no more online study from 25th of November 2023, which is fair. But if he wanted to go back to the day where pandemic was, and you're saying these people has been approved by the university to study online, well, which was the government's guideline to do so, and everybody has followed in the steps and procedures, and now you're coming back and say it doesn't count. That obviously won't work. It's if we go back to the law, it's always talking about just and fair. So this is bringing back the just and the fairness back to the system. Okay, this flexibility will remain in place as long as COVID-19 impact remains. The Department of Education, Skill Employment and National Regulator, the Australian Skill Quality Authority, and the Tertiary Education Qualification and Standard Agency. Wow, this is very long. So basically, it's all the institution of education are taking flexible approach to online learning in order to support students during COVID-19 pandemic. So again, that's exactly what the thumbnail that I made today. We won and we win. Okay, congratulations. We don't no more worry about not meeting Australian study requirement whilst applying for a 485 visa. Now we have further confirmation also on the immigration's official website on the subclass 485 on the very first title in the light blue area. As you can see, I will read them out. It says the title Australian study requirement and the end of concession period. Now, from 25th of November 2023, okay, online study requirement will go back to their pre-COVID state. Now, what does that mean? That means from 25th of November, no more online study will count towards Australian study requirement. But, however, it says, however, online study undertaken during COVID concession period, and that is the period between 1st February 2020 to the 25th of November 2023, will continue to count towards Australian study requirement. Okay, so good news for everybody. Now, obviously, the reason we have created this channel is to make all the information transparent and to be updated at the first time and the first moment. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and share with your mates. Should you have more question query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.